So I have this article here. It'll be linked in the description down below. Talking over the Xbox One X. Well, not really the Xbox One X, but the Xbox division in general. We already have had some bad press on the Xbox. And I have my Switch here. It's turned on. And I have it here for a reason, okay? Because I had an article on this, but I don't know what happened to it. Talking about the eShop on here. I don't know if you can see that. Well, yeah, there you go. Okay, they were talking about the eShop is starting to show its own, and I'm like, it is really not. I mean, I've seen it on Twitter as well. They're like, oh, the eShop is actually starting to look like something, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's still mainly the, what is it, Neo Geo shop. I mean, yeah, sure, you have Vaccine on there, which is a game I have, and you have the games like Fate Extelia, Splatoon, Zelda, Mario Kart 8, and games like that. But it's mainly independent titles and Neo Geo games. They don't really have like the Wii U or even the 3DS with Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, and etc. They haven't got it set up the right way, if you ask me. It's just recent releases, bestsellers, coming soon. They don't have subclasses or sub selections, I should say, where you can go in and you can select from like the NES and then the Super NES, the Nintendo 64, even Game Boy game. You can't do that with this one. The eShop is not where it should be, and I'm just pointing that out, but that's on a whole nother topic for a whole nother time. Back to the Xbox and why I have this. Xbox, this article, along with the other shit that has come out about you with your uncompromised, which is compromised 4K because it's checkerboard rendering, which is something the PS4 Pro does, isn't good. It's not good, okay? Because it's starting to show that you're starting to go from being Uncle Phil that people like to Uncle Phil people hate, okay? And what I mean is, remember Don Matrix? Remember him? He's the guy who came out stumbling over his own feet and landed faceplant down on the concrete and put Xbox in the horrible state it was in. Well, this is not as bad, but we have the Xbox One X coming out, the most powerful Xbox to date. And you would think they would really want to focus down and, I mean, just pound the pavement with nothing but games. I mean, from now until that bitch releases and 6 months beyond. Nothing but games. The news is nothing but games. That doesn't seem to be the case. Because the article down below is talking about Spotify. If you don't know what Spotify is, it's a service you can get on your phone, your tablet. On the PS4, they've had Spotify. It's a music service, a streaming service, just like Pandora. And with Xbox, they usually have like Windows Media Player or Pandora or some other service. But my thing with this is taking focus away when you start having this happen. Okay? This is taking focus away. Why in the hell would you take focus away from the reason, the focus on games, which has been the main focus since Phil Spencer took it over, a good old Uncle Phil? Why? Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to possibly harm the potential here? Because, unfortunately, this thing here, the Switch, people are not accidentally buying Nintendo's product anymore. Sure, a lot of people are talking shit on Nintendo still. Sure, that's going on. People are still going to yammer about how they don't like the Switch. And those same people are going to run out and buy a Switch because this here is a handheld. And in case you've been living under a rock for the past 20 plus years, Nintendo's handhelds tend to hold their own, and they tend to do really fucking well. And with games like Skyrim coming to it, even though it's been on pretty much everything since the PS3. Being able to play that on the go is still pretty damn entertaining of a thought. And that in of itself, okay, being able to play these things on the go is what has a lot of people, okay? So when people say they don't like the Switch, I'm not too worried about it, because I'm like, okay, that's fine. You don't like the Switch, you don't like the Switch, you don't like handheld gaming. That's all it is. So I'm not worried about it. What I am worried about is the fact that Xbox can potentially fall into third place. Because, again, this is not just a core system, this is a handheld. PlayStation's handhelds have always done fine. Sony's haven't. There's not really any competition here for this thing. And Xbox has this thing where they started this generation out on the wrong foot, and it was because they took focus away from the games. And if the Xbox One X comes out and this shit starts up again, then the Xbox One X stands no chance in hell. You'll have that small core group of people who are devoted to just Xbox, and that's going to be the only people who buy this fucking thing. And then we're going to see no one else buy this fucking thing. You get what I'm saying to you? That's what's going to happen. And then everyone else will have this thing and a PS4. And then here's what sits in second place, while PlayStation 4 sits in first place, because it's at 63 million right now. Where this thing will surpass the Xbox One, because the Xbox One has a few years on it right now, but this thing is still selling really well. And with the games coming out, and when people start to, actually think about, oh, hey, it is a handheld, and Nintendo's handhelds have been doing really fucking well, when that starts to catch on, and they're like, hey, man, it's got games like Skyrim on there, and, the more options start coming out for the battery, for, those foam bricks that people carry with them, when more options start coming out for that, and you can just plug it in, it'll start becoming more of a popular item. And that's gonna happen. That is eventually gonna happen, because Nintendo uses current gen technology. And again, it always starts with something small. Always starts with something small. And when you don't think it is, it is. Okay? Xbox started this generation off because they wanted television. Television. Not games. Now they're fixing to introduce another fucking system, and we have this report talking about a fucking music service. Seriously. Refocus. Reshift the gear back into games, because this thing will beat your ass if you don't do it. I'm telling you right now. We had the article talking about, hey, you got 80 plus games going to be enhanced for Xbox One X, which is great. And I've already said in the past couple of videos that I commend you and actually applaud you for your marketing on that. But don't lose focus just because you need a new music streaming service. Our phones, our tablets, and computers already offer that. This needs to be a gaming machine, because if you start refocusing on other shit than that, people are gonna go, fuck it. They already did it once to you at the beginning of this fucking generation. Don't think they won't do it again. You're still behind, and by a lot. This just came out. It's only a couple of months old. Don't think this thing can't come back to beat your ass. So don't go getting cocky. Oh, we're gonna have the most strongest fucking hardware on the fucking market. When's the last time that actually mattered? Not ever. It's never mattered in a generation. Having the most powerful hardware has never mattered. So remember that. refocus over back to the games. Because you dominated with the 360, because you focused on the games. But this is only a couple months. It'll be a year sooner than later, but if you don't focus on the games, this thing's going to come out of nowhere to beat you bad. Probably within the second year. And you're going to be going, I don't understand. Why the fuck are people buying the Xbox? They're not buying the Xbox One X. They're buying the Switch. Why? Well, because the Switch focused on the games. PlayStation 4 focuses on the games. You are focused on everything else. And you will trickle into third place, and you will sit your happy ass there, and people are just going to be like, well, it was nice while it lasted. That's all I got for you guys. Deuces.